What wing are you using?
4 meter.
4 meter? Alright. Have fun, man.
Thanks.
Here we are. July 29th, St. Francis Yacht Club. Friday Night Wingfoil Series. And race 1 underway off the bow of the Cressy, headed toward the St. Francis Yacht Club in a downwind slalom. List of competitors tonight, starting from number 1 in the overall position of the Wingfoil Race Series: Johnny Heineken, Henry VARE, Stefan Viljoen, John Sabrani, Kai Mirel, Morgan Osterman, Alex Lunev, Josh Waldman, Steve Bodner, Dave DuPont, Morgan Headington, Cleveland Motley, Eric Galens, Joey Pasquale, Emil Kabil, Jordan Factor, Bill Kiriakis, David Little, Reza Ariampour, Avery Dinauer, Adri Forker, Anthony Goldblum, David Corbett, Matthew Turini, Eleni Leneva, Charles Dietrich, Michael Vare, Jacob Rosenberg, Matt Esch, Tori Violassi, Michael Gachet, Ben Hamner, Max Salgado, Morgan Headington, Felix Luis Jai, and Marcelo Segura in 36th place. And that is just finishing the rounding of the first downwind buoy. Now just gonna pass the pack here and catch up to a couple of the leaders. There goes Johnny Heineken on your right. I believe that's Kenny Adgate on that black wing. This is the second buoy. Everyone's got to go downwind. If you're goofy foot, you're on your heels. If you're regular foot, good luck on your toes. There's John Henry rounding his second buoy. There we go. That's about half the fleet. If I can catch up to the leader here. And for the third rounding, heading back out towards Sausalito, Kenny Agate. These three guys are about 20 seconds behind Johnny Heineken. You can see approaching that final rounding ahead. I'm going to fly over Kenny Agate, try to catch up to Johnny, making his rounding. You can see he's a good 45 seconds ahead of the fleet. There he goes. Didn't have my best FPV flying flights tonight, just gonna share that. But here is Johnny just smoking away, and suddenly my drone stopped. This is one of the interesting moments of my flight. So I think what happened is I was on a low battery. So. Probably should have stayed with the rest of the fleet, but I decided to catch up to Johnny, at least watch him finish one race. So I think what I did is I watched Johnny cross the finish line in front of the yacht club right there. About Mach 10. Makes it look so easy. Go catch up to 2, 3, and 4. Comes Kenny on the black kite. Screaming. Your screen time was up 60%. Looks like. There you go. Kenny Agate across the line in the number 2 position. like to know who that is. Duotone. And another ozone kite in 4th place. Also a 4-meter. Just like Henry called. 5th place, ozone. Can't quite tell who that is. It's a sweet board though. Race 2, coming at you. Before I said the bow of the Cressy, that's the stern of the Cressy as the start line. With the red buoy, that's to the left, you can't see it. How cool is wingfoiling? Now the front of the fleet converging into a pretty tight single file line, and you can see Johnny Heineken approaching the first rounding first. Classic Heineken downwind jibe. Still pretty tight pack of wingfoilers. You guys out there with perfect pitch are like, what the? Trying to hang on. Man, that high E. Not for me. Look at that line of wings. What a cool sport. Whoa, wipe out around the first rounding. Just to make it a little bit more challenging. Have to take a wider line. Catch up with the front of the pack here. There goes the leader, Johnny Heineken, whizzing by on the right. Let's get to this rounding and watch these guys fight for position around it. This is the 2nd downwind rounding. Charging. Oh, big wipe out there too. Guys are so fast. You can see Johnny already rounded that one. On this duotone kite, trying to catch up to Johnny Heineken is John Sabrani. Ripping around that rounding.
Beautiful job.
And then Stefan's right behind him. And there goes Kenny in 4th.
Screaming.
And that is Kai Mirel on the red wing. Making that transition is Henry VARE. You can kind of see from a higher vantage point the separation across the bay. It's about 40 wingfoilers right there. Johnny was around that downwind rounding. Here he comes. I'm not flying my best right now, but you can get an idea of the length of the course and the distance they're covering. Johnny, come into frame here. Sorry about that bad flying here. I'm going to try to catch up with him now. Screaming at the yacht club is Johnny Heineken. It's Mike's Lab foil, Mike's Lab board. See-through ozone kite. Number 3, Johnny Heineken. Breezing towards the finish line. Out of battery, head home. Just let the Pelicans do their thing, get this race started. Just So you know that's Johnny Heineken on the black kite now and Kenny on the clear kite. They switched kites for races 3 and 4. And they're off. And they are followed up by Henry VARE, Stefans Viljoen, John Subrani, Kai Mirel, Morgan Osterman on the yellow F1 kite, Alex Lunev on the gray kite, Josh Waldman from the Tiburon Yacht Club, Steve Bodner, who is not racing tonight, David DuPont, Morgan Headington, Cleven Motley, Eric Galens, Joey Pasquale, Emil Kabil, and that was Johnny rounding, Avery Dinauer, Andy Forquet, Anthony Goldblum, Matthew Turini, Elena Luneva, there's Kai Morrell on the red kite, Jacob Rosenberg, Matt Esch, Tori Giulassi, Michael Gachet, Ben Hamner, Max Salgado, Felix Njai, and Marcelo Segura. You can see the back half of the fleet getting around that first rounding. Another crash to look out for. A few more people. This is the middle of the pack. See one wing up ahead already made the rounding. 2. Trying to black eye 3 and 4. Here comes a battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th place. And it's amazing how everyone stays on a foil through their jibes right now. Great work, everyone. Nice. Just want to point out these long zones in the middle. I'm not sure. I kind of want to follow everybody, but I'm running low on battery and I try to catch the end of the finish. So if I don't get all of you, I apologize, but I'm just trying to get as many as I can. My battery, these FPV batteries are only like 8 minutes long and the race is 6 minutes long, so. This is where it gets exciting. These battles for 2nd and 3rd place right at the rounding. Look at Kenny just screaming wide line though. That's, see, and Stefan's cut his line a little bit tighter. It's the difference. If you watch Johnny, some of his jibes are just, whew, hairpin turns. Just not as fast when you're that wide. Between the 3rd and the 4th buoy, you can really start to see some separation between top 10. There goes Johnny already around the first one, and here is, looks like Kenny in 2nd. Zoom up to the rounding here and watch these guys make their jibes. Stefan's in 3rd. Zip up to the front. Catch Johnny crossing the finish line and come back and pick up the rest of the fleet. There you go. Building his picket fence around the St. Francis Yacht Club is Johnny Heineken. Follow Kenny in for cool 2nd place. Put your hands up in the air. Followed by Stefans and John Sobrani, 4th place. Congratulations, great race. My apologies for missing the start of this, race 4. Picked it up just after the 2nd buoy. That was Johnny ripping by. kites, those pelicans used to be a factor. For the drone, they still are, but for wings, whew, just go right under them. Zoom up to Johnny and watch him make this third rounding. There we go, John Sabrani, second place. Stefan's hot on his tail. Getting low on this battery. Head over to this final rounding before the finish line. See if we can get a shot of the leader's jibe technique on camera. Oh, perfect. There we go. This is good. Stefan's right after John. Whoa! That was sweet. He's like, I can do it, I can do it. Sorry, Stefan, you are done in this race. That's Henry VARE taking over third place. And another crash. Not quite sure who that is on the F1 gear. If you don't know, Henry VARE. That's him up ahead. He's only 14 years old. He's in second place overall. The race is already won, I think, by Johnny Heineken, but just staying back here with these guys. Coming straight into the Yacht Club. Woohoo! How cool is that? Just hanging on by a thread. That's what it's like, man. Just hanging on thin line. Looks like third place for Henry. Fourth place for Josh Waldman. Great race, gentlemen. These race results I'm claiming are not official. There were Stefan's. Great finish. Followed by Charlie. Followed by John Subrani on the duotone wing. And Dave DuPont on the ozone. Here we go, final race of the night, race 5. This was a really cool race because there was a lot of lead changes and there were some sailboats that came through the race around the second rounding. Here's Kenny charging for the hole shot on the first rounding. Kai, third. John and Heineken just coming out of nowhere, grabbing 5th place. And here's where it started to get interesting. Sailboats cruising through the course. Are they racing or just cruising? Who has the right of way? Please advise in the comments. Personally, I wasn't even sure. I chose the safer way. Sweet. John Stefani. Kai Morrell around that buoy. Not sure who that was. Kenny Agate, then Johnny Heineken. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see the rest of the fleet. All pretty close. This was a really tight race in general. One more sailboat to contend with. Johnny staying upwind of the boat, which probably makes sense because it didn't take any of his wind. And Kai Morrell back in third. And Kenny Agate charging again straight at the buoy. Who's going to get there first? It's nice to see these guys close at the buoy and to have a good shot at the same time. See how it's done. And that is how it's done. Kai, John, look, Henry, look at this. Toe side. Keeping the wing upwind. I don't even know what that's called. I'm not a race expert, but that's pretty cool. And he's pumping. I think the wind's dying. Coming up on the fourth and final buoy rounding of the race. Toe side is the goofy foot Johnny Heineken. Ooh, Kenny trying to make a move on the inside. Followed by Kai Morrell. Henry VARE. John Stefani. Stefans. And not sure, that might have been Dave DuPont. Something you don't see every day is a close finish. Kenny taking a higher line. Oh, little touchdown. That's going to cost you another touchdown. Guaranteed. That's not fast. Both on Mike's lap foils. Looks like prototype kites. Who's it going to be? Johnny Kenny, 1 and 2. Sorry about my drone stopping again. Low battery warning. That was a great race. Wow. And there you go. Kai coming in for a third. And I'm just fighting off a low battery warning. And there you go. Henry VARE. John Stefani. Another great race. Way to finish it out. Friday Night Wing Series. Thank you, St. Francis Yacht Club. And whoever invented wings and foils.